watching that. People think there's formulas, there's ways you have to do this. You got to, no. Healing power does not travel in a formula. It travels in a friendship with God. That's where our authority comes from. And Wimber was friends of God, and blind people frequently got healed in his ministry. And then there were other guys that loved to pray, and women that had faith to pray for legs when the people had leg problems and all that. They had faith to pray for that. And then there were people that had great faith to pray for emotional healing. And to me, that's probably the most pressing need in the body of Christ today, is there is so much trauma in the body of Christ. See, children are the most defenseless people in the world. They're the weakest people in the world. And the rule of the world is the strong oppress the weak. And so many children are traumatized. I hear a statistic all the time, that 3 out of 5 young girls are abused growing up. I hear that all the time. Little less for boys, but children are regularly abused. My wife was abused. It took her, she didn't tell me about it until I was 50 years old, but she was sexually abused from the time she was 5 to 12 by her father, the Christian high school football coach. And it was a severe sexual assault on this little girl. And I thought she was shy, She wasn't shy, she was shamed. She would walk into a room and think, if those people only knew what I am, they wouldn't want me here. And so when she finally tells me this, I say, honey, why didn't you tell me this at the beginning? And we could have gotten some help. Why didn't you tell me this? And here's what she said to me. She said, I was afraid if I told you what my father and I had done, you wouldn't want me. Okay, she's 44 years old, and she doesn't think of herself as a victim. She thinks of herself as a co-conspirator. And that's the power of an abuser, to put that shame on a little girl, so she carries it all her life, and she thinks she's the one that did something wrong. And it wasn't until she made that confession that she doesn't live in that shame anymore, that we could get her to inner healers who could really help and break its power. And then she can stand on a stage. I saw it. She stood on a stage and told a whole room full of women what had happened. And people were weeping, and then they came, so many women, that the first night that she told that, they came forward and confessed the same thing or a similar thing had happened to them, but they didn't have the courage to confess it because of the shame until they see a pastor's wife confessing it and now walking in freedom she didn't have before. Inner healing is probably one of the most needed spiritual gifts in the church today.